Hi, my name is Anthony Mace. This is my presentation for Phase 3 of the class project in 335. So my idea for the class project was a grade calculator application. So what you could do is you could create classes and then within those classes create weighted assignment categories such as quizzes, homeworks, final, assignments, stuff like that. And then you could add assignments to those weighted assignment categories, and you would be able to, or the application would calculate your grade for you. So one of the things I wanted to have was a UI web view to log on to or to search through ASU's online class schedule so you could find some classes that you're going to be taking this upcoming semester and then input that information into the grade calculator app. So another thing I wanted was a map to save the class location. So if you Google the class and then grab its location, you can set that. You can put that information into the, the application. It would save the class location. So like on your first day, you could see exactly where the class is at. You won't have to worry about finding it. And then another big idea was persistent data storage that we learned about in class. So here's an overview of my class diagram. So these are kind of the view controllers I had, and then how they dealt with the models I had. So start with the models I had. I had a school class object that took or encapsulated a name, a section, days of the week that it occurred on, a array of assignment categories, a total grade, and then the location. So what this class would do is it manage and keep track of an array of assignment categories, and every time something was modified in the assignment categories, the grade would be reflected in the overall grade. Um, so a couple of methods I had in here was you could add an assignment category, you could get the assignment category count, you could get the assignment category name at a certain index, you could remove an assignment category, and a school class would go through and calculate your grade for you. So moving on to a little bit more specific, so I had an assignment category class from the object I modeled. So this had an array of assignments. It had a name, a weight, an average, and then a description of the assignment category. So things you could do here is you could add and remove assignments. You could calculate the class worth, which would take into account the weight of the class and the average of the assignments that you've put into this assignment category. And what that does, it would, once that's calculated, it would go to the school class and it would update the grade here as well for your overall grade. And then at the base layer, kind of the building block of this whole application is an assignment object that I had. So this had a name, points earned variable, and points possible. So the points earned is how many points you got on an assignment, and the points possible is obviously how many possible points were in that assignment. Then it also had a description. So nothing too crazy here. You could basically just go through and initialize one, and there wasn't really too much functionality in the assignments besides being created. So the interesting part was, of course, the view controllers and handling all the data that we've created. So I had a semester view controller, which was an overall view of the school classes that you have created. You could add a class, remove a class, and it had all the functionality for table views. So then another one of the important ones I had was the ASU search for class view controller, which was a UI web view, which I loaded up with a URL of the ASU's class schedule so you could search for a class. So a school class view controller handled all the details of an actual school class. So this would house a table view for assignment categories, and you could add assignment categories. You could go in and click on an assignment category, edit it, and add assignments to that category. And it had different UI labels to represent the information in the school class, like the grade label, the details, which Monday, Wednesday, Friday, what day of the week it was on, the name of the class, and then a button for you could click on and view the map. So if you input the location of a school class, you could click on view button or view map, and it would bring up a UI map kit view controller to view the map, which is the ASU class map view controller. This is where the map view is located. So then I had an assignment category view controller, which housed all the functionality for an assignment category. You could add assignment categories and delete assignment categories here. And what this was, you could go click on an assignment within the assignment category and edit it or add and delete an assignment category, and it would take control of sending a message to the assignment category to update its grade. And then you had an assignment view controller where you could input the information for an assignment, such as the points earned and the points possible. So moving on to an MVC diagram. So what I had in this project was I had my model objects for assignments, assignment categories, and school classes. And between my model and my view, I had the controllers, which was kind of what I went over in here in the class diagram. The major components of my application were, UI table view for school classes, assignment category, and assignments. Controllers were responsible for sending updates and information to the model, and then the model was responsible for saving that information, reflecting it, and then taking it back to the view controller. And then what the view controller does is it goes through and updates all the labels and stuff for the view. And if you were to add a new assignment category, a school class, it would tell the corresponding view controller to add that row and then put it in the view. It would show up in the view. So I've already discussed some of the capabilities, but here's a brief recap again. So what you can do within the application is you can search for a class through the UI web view controller on ASU's website. You can go ahead and get that information and then manually input it into a new school class, and you can specify the name, the section, location, days of the week, and the start time. Once you've done that, you can go and you can add assignment categories to that class. So again, these are going to be things like quizzes and homeworks, and they all have a certain percentage of the grade, 15 or 25 or 20% of the grade, whatever it is. And then once that's done, you can add assignments to those weighted categories. And the biggest thing here again was the automatic grade calculation for the application. Once you do all that, you can just go through and add assignments, and it'll calculate your grade for you automatically based on what you put in for an assignment, the points earned out of the points possible. So some of the limitations I had to deal with when thinking of this project and developing this application was the manual entry for the class information. So once you search for a class, I was really hoping to tie into an ASU API, but I couldn't find one. I wanted to somehow select that class and then automatically input the information for that class, but I just wasn't able to get that done with the time allotted for the project. So it's a manual entry for the class information right now. Inherently, there's another limitation. Inherently, there's a way in the application to do unweighted classes. So if it's just your teacher likes to keep, or your professor likes to keep it simple, and everything is, your grade is based on the points that you've earned overall. You can make a category for everything and just put everything in there and put its weight at 100%, but ideally I would like to make a setting on class creation if the class is unweighted or weighted, but I was not able to do that with the time constraint we had. And then another limitation I had was you would have to find out the address and location of the class manually through like Google Maps or Apple Maps, and then put that address into the class yourself. I would like to, if I had more time, put some functionality into maybe dropping a pin on where the class is at and then grabbing that, the longitude and latitude and geo forward locating that into the location so it could be more automatic, but you do have to do it manually right now. So that kind of leads itself into improvements. Some of the stuff I could improve on was, integrate with an ASU API if they have one to automatically get the class information, put a setting on the class creation for weighted or an unweighted class, and then, like I said, an easier input for class location where it could be a little more automatic. I learned a lot of things through this through building this application. I thought this was a really cool project to kind of do on our own and have it span the whole semester. So we had a lot of time to work on it. Um, I learned another option for persistent data storage. I learned how to use UI web view capabilities and UI map kit capabilities, something I'd never done before. And then a lot of it was just a lot of customization of the out of the box UI controls that Apple gives you with UI kit, such as getting the table cells the way I wanted them to look, and um, did some drawing with a UI Bezier path to draw a little class circle, which can be seen in the application that reflects a student's grade. So in conclusion, throughout the semester I built a grade calculator application. I wish I'd done it sooner to help me throughout my college career keeping track of my grades. It helps to keep track of your grades. There's a lot of capabilities built in. I think it's a fairly powerful application, does some good stuff for you, but there's also a ton of room for improvement that I could have got through. Thanks.